But we need to talk about what's going to happen next week and where this is going to go. We're going to start looking at the clips for next week. We have quite a few to go through. We have predictions. I just can't wait to get into it. We're going to play our first one, and we will have to hear what we think, because next week is going to get crazy on the 3-hour finale, or next episode. So let's take a look.
Touch me, dog. Wait.
It's a special 3-hour extravaganza.
You never know what could have developed during that conversation. Why are you yelling? I'm yelling because I feel like it. What's up?
Riley's getting in here. Gianna, let me ask you, are you going to be able to watch this for 3 hours next week? Do you have the attention span? What are you going to do to mentally prepare for it?
Well, I'll try not to be on my phone as much as I was from last night's episode. I think I'll have the attention span. I might need some snacks. I might need a cocktail.
Yes.
That will definitely help my attention span, because I can't even watch like a 2-hour movie at this point in life. And this is the one and only time that I think I'm grateful for commercials. I got my pee break. I got my snack break. I got my brain break from all this madness. This clip is cracking me up for some reason, for multiple reasons. First of all, Ivan looks like he has a smirk on his face, which, like, it just makes me laugh because Aaron is so mad and Ivan's just sitting there like, ha ha ha. And then Riley, when you see him yelling, you actually see Thomas in the mix of all of this. So I'm like, is Thomas, like, we got all of that beef that was happening weeks ago. Is Thomas now gonna take out his anger on Aaron that he had for him like way back a couple weeks ago? I'm very interested. I'm also just like, why is Riley yelling at Aaron? Like, Aaron didn't do anything. Like, why is he getting angry at him? That was 3 seconds and there's already so much happening. I can't imagine what's gonna happen in 3 hours.
Well, I think Riley is just stepping in, because I think it's just getting ridiculous at this point with Aaron getting in everyone's faces. And if he has such a problem with Chelsea and Ivan making out, take it up with Chelsea. She's the one that you're pursuing. She's the one that is going to get your rose or whatever. So I think Riley's trying to break it up, and then I think that it kind of went left. I think Thomas is going to be the peacekeeper. He's like moved on. He's with Becca. Like, I don't think that he wants to get involved in any of this. But it's gonna be juicy. I mean, it's gonna be fun. I mean, Ivan poking, I think it's just like Ivan knowing that Aaron is so easily poked. So it's like fun to push people's buttons if you're like an instigator, like Aaron and myself. So, I mean, Ivan and myself. So it'll be fun. Let's take a look at the next clip, because we have quite a few to go through, because things are gonna get even more messy. Just you wait, guys.
Ivan, do you have anything to tell me?
And the drama is just getting started.
He said something happened at the hotel.
You guys shouldn't have gone around the system.
Fiona, what is going on here?
Well, here's the thing. Based on what we saw between Ivan and Chelsea, right? She was like, have you ever thought about me before? Like, I don't know that something went on between the two of them at the hotel, because why would they have had that conversation then, right? So I'm like, did Ivan go out and meet some woman in the lobby? Like, did Ivan hang out with a producer? Are they sending more girls in? Did Ivan sneak off? Like, what did Ivan do at this hotel? Because the first thought I had was, oh, maybe he and Chelsea sort of met up at the hotel and they hit it off, and that's why he decided, kind of what seemed out of the blue with us, to shoot a shot with her on the beach. But that conversation they had, I guess it could have all been for show, but even that feels so dramatic and so convoluted. Like, they literally were having the, I kind of think you're cute, I kind of think you're cute, have you ever even talked to me, thought about me, let's introduce ourselves, as the vibe I got from that daybed. So I don't know what Ivan did at the hotel, but he's literally been called to the principal's office here. Like, it feels very, very serious. And I think he's such a good guy overall that it's kind of bumming me out that right at the end of Paradise, it honestly feels like he's been sort of screwed over by the system. He's angry, he's lashing out, and all of a sudden he's going to leave Paradise in a huff, which is not how I hoped his story would play out. But I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, I think if the principal office is Wells, the bartender, I think it's like not the scariest place as someone who's been to the principal's office many times in my life. But I'm just more interested because now it's nighttime. So we were doing a daytime afternoon rose ceremony. Did Wells pull Ivan aside after the rose ceremony and Ivan got the rose from Chelsea? Or do we think that this happened before the rose ceremony and he's going to get sent home? Because he's in trouble. Like, you don't just get a sit down. I mean, Aaron's still there. And I guess it's dark, so maybe I just answered my own question. Gianna, what do you think? Or Fiona, what do you think?
I'm
I
confused.
just think the cocktail party probably ran us into the night, right? Like they said
Okay.
daytime. So daytime could have been late afternoon into early evening. They want the rose ceremony to still have that nighttime feel, maybe. It's all timeline here. But yeah, we see Aaron too. So I think no roses have been given out at this point. Mathematically, that wouldn't make sense, right?
Yes.
Right.
For sure. Okay, well, then let's take a look at our next clip because, I mean, I don't want Ivan to go home, but, like, we'll see. Let's take a look at the next clip. Maybe Ivan's in it. Listen.
You know, love makes you do like weird, crazy things.
Everybody's starting to realize that we are running.
Love makes you do crazy things. We see Noah and Abigail.
Who's he
Ivan
in
is
love with?
crying. That's the question. I mean, Gianna, do you think he's talking about Chelsea? Kendall? Maybe he caught Kendall.
I am
Maybe when they left,
speechless.
he caught Kendall at the
Maybe-
airport.
Oh my God, so many theories we could just dive right into. Like he sees Kendall leaving, he pulls her aside, and then Kendall finally accepts his love. No, I think that there may be someone in that hotel that he knew. Maybe they've hung out. Maybe they're another member from Bachelor Nation that we would have seen walking down the stairs the morning after that rose ceremony. Maybe they were going, again, maybe the producers brought whoever this mystery woman was on because they knew that Ivan and this woman maybe had a past. And then maybe when they evacuated to this hotel from the storm, he kind of ran into her and they did whatever they did. Or I don't think that he's talking about Chelsea because I think that he would have laid it all out on the table after they made out. And like, clearly this has to be a serious thing and a serious mistake for him to literally break down in this interview as we're seeing right now. So whoever this woman is, she has to be somebody from past or at least somebody that he knew, because otherwise why would he say love makes you do crazy things? Was he already in love and then maybe trying to get over it before he came here, and then the woman that he was trying to get over is here? Like, there are so many possibilities for this situation, and I'm so excited to see how this pans out now. And I'm also just so confused. My brain is just spinning right now over this.
I mean, bring back Jasenia. Maybe it's Jasenia. Maybe she's still in Mexico. But I will say that
Yes.
McKenna and Alea, they were brought on to the VIP date when Titus Burgess was hosting that date. And they never ended up coming on the beach. And I guess the guys came in this week. So maybe Alea and McKenna are just chilling at the hotel. This is why they should have brought the cameras to the hotel. Screw the system and the format. They should have just made it more reality show and just brought the cameras to the hotel. I mean, do we think that there could have been a connection between McKenna and Alea? How is Ivan going to sneak out of his hotel room when it's The Bachelor? The producers are going to catch everything. Fiona?
That's the thing. I really don't know. I'm like, did he have an affair with a producer? What happened at that hotel? Because it clearly
producer.
wasn't Chelsea related. I feel definitely confident that it just wouldn't make sense for it to have been Chelsea. So then we have to start going to all of the other possibilities. And I'm having a hard time with that line, love makes you do crazy things, because whatever he did at the hotel, he's not in love with anybody right now. So what did he do? Did he just make out with somebody because they were hot? That's not love, Ivan. You made a mistake. You just need to own it, right? I don't know. I feel there's a lot of possibilities. Some of the McKenna, the Alea, maybe their flight out hadn't quite happened yet. Who knows? Maybe they booked their rooms for a certain amount of time. They got to just stay. I don't know. There's a lot of people that could have been floating around. I guess the theory that it could be another new woman at this point is maybe what drove him at the last minute to try to maybe nab a rose from Chelsea, because he was hoping whoever it was would walk through that door, and realized if they didn't, then he needed a rose to be there when they do. I mean, that was some out of left field behavior from him. So I wouldn't be surprised if, unfortunately, that's the crazy thing. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe he hit it off with someone at the hotel, acted crazy with Chelsea and Aaron to try to stay there. I don't know.
That
I need
makes
I need a graph. I need a chart. I need to, like,
That could
figure all
be
of it out.
it. It could be possible because he really was trying to get a rose, but he also like went around the system. So maybe there was like, you know, the cleaning lady at the hotel, like someone in the lobby, like you said, a producer, a stage handler, you know, a local. I mean, there's so many options. We can debate about this all day. Next week is going to be crazy, but there's still so much more drama. So let's take a look at the next clip and see what other contestants are doing besides Ivan, because we don't know.
We want to make it work. We have to figure out how we're going to do that. It's not just going to happen.
Tensions are high, and literally anything can happen.
If Serena and Joe want to make it work, this is the time where they start talking about post-show life. Because Serena's in Canada, we know Joe is in Chicago. Gianna, what do we think? How is this conversation going to go?
Oof, I mean, it's hard because the whole thing about Joe and Kendall was the fact that she wouldn't move to Chicago. So I'm like, is Serena thinking the same thing? Like maybe she also doesn't want to move to Chicago. Like, Joe, you got to meet in the middle at some point. So maybe it's if they even talk about where they'd live afterward, or again, you know how these trailers, these previews are edited, they kind of take minuscule little sound bites and add that dramatic music. Like maybe she was literally just saying like, hey, we should probably start talking about after because it's not just going to happen, and that was it. And then maybe they'll talk about it and it'll go great. Like I don't think that they're having a falling out here necessarily, but the fact that they're having that conversation, and again, we have to remember that Serena is our age. Like the fact that she's initiating these conversations instead of Joe initiating them just like cracks me up, and it just shows how mature and like ready for a real relationship she is. So I have faith in them. So I'm excited to see what they talk about, because is it going to be if she's moving to Chicago, or if, you know, what is it? I don't know, but I'm excited.
I mean, they're at the final few days of Paradise, so they need to be having these conversations if they're going to end up together after the show. How is it going to work? So it'll be interesting to see how they, you know, get through it, and if she really does plan to move to Chicago. Because if she does, she could be the perfect girl for Joe. She could be everything that Kendall wasn't. But let's continue on. Let's take a look at this next clip to see what happens next.
Early on, like, it was, like, passionate. That's not there anymore.
Uh-oh. Fiona, do we think Kenny's gonna break up with Mari?
See, here's the thing. Like, I'm so curious. Is he even talking about their relationship? Because you know they twist us around in these trailers, and I'm like, you're telling me things aren't passionate? You just ate tacos off of Mari's naked body. Like, what happened in 24 hours, Kenny? So, like, I don't know. I feel like if he is truly saying that to her about their relationship, he is probably starting to freak out about what the end of Paradise means, and maybe he's scared to commit to the real world. Maybe logistics of where they both live and how this would actually work are starting to creep in, and so he's just putting up walls and coming up with excuses. But I don't know about you guys. If somebody ate a taco off my body and then said that they didn't think there was enough passion there, I would be like, what? Like, come on. It just doesn't feel fair. I don't know. We'll see.
This just goes back to my theory that Mari is more into him than he is into her. And even if the two of them leave the show together, I really do not think they will last in the real world for more than a few months. Like, I just don't see it. But they do edit conversations, like you said, Fiona. So maybe he's literally talking about, like, somebody else who the passion isn't there. Because they just have a way of editing things. But let's continue on. Let's take a look at this next clip, because things are going to get even crazier.
Paradise is essentially coming to a close.
It's the shocking finale.
It's time to ask yourselves some really important questions.
Okay, this is like where we get the real tea, because now they're giving us a teaser for 2 weeks to come. So this is basically everyone they show here. And if you got into this part of the live, you know you're going to get a little bit of spoilers because we have to dish about it. But whoever they show here has made it to the final episode. And Tia is still there. Ed is still there. And there's a few other people there. Dean and Kaylin are coming in. I guess they are Bachelor in Paradise royalty. They really are the modern day BIP because they didn't even get engaged. They're still not engaged. Okay, we have an engagement. I mean, there's so much going on. Gianna, what do you make about all this?
When this happened, I literally rewinded and paused at whoever's hand that was. I'm like, whose hand is holding the ring box? Like, I want to know. I'm already speculating. That's how psycho I'm being over this. But it's crazy. Like, how many engagements are we gonna get? That looks like Joe's hand. I'm gonna say it's Joe. Joe and Serena. I'm calling it right now. Oh, maybe.
No, I
No.
know who that
I
is.
see
I know
tattoos.
exactly who that is.
That's Kenny.
Yeah.
I also know who that is. Oh my goodness. So we
It's
have
clearly
a gold chain necklace and tattoos.
a
So
little
it's
bit of
not
a
Joe.
tattoo.
So,
We warned you guys.
little
If you
bit of
made
a
it to this
spoiler.
live, we warned you there would be some spoilers. We're checking out
Yeah.
these teasers. That means
But
definitely
again,
looks
is it
like
a
Kenny.
spoiler?
It's a teaser.
It's a
It's
teaser.
I mean, there's a necklace, there's a tattoo, there's an engagement, and we can obviously tell by the skin tone who it could be because that kind of eliminates a lot of different people. So, I mean, it looks like Kenny is getting engaged, in my opinion. I mean, who else has tattoos? Could that be Blake and Tia, Fiona?
I'm pretty sure, and I feel like at this point, when ABC puts it out there in a trailer, like, is it like this isn't like something we looked up on Reality Steve, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're kind of showing us that we don't know if Mari's saying yes, but assuming that is Kenny and nobody else showed up with his chain, his bracelet, and his tattoos, looks like he is going to probably take a huge leap with Mari. Which honestly, I kind of felt like that was coming for the two of them. Whether or not it lasts post show is a different story. But I did kind of feel like he had the mindset of getting down on a knee at the end of this if he was with someone. I feel like he's kind of alluded to that. Not to change the subject here, but in this same clip, we saw Aaron sitting with Tia.
Yeah.
And we know that Tia is not super
Oh my
feeling
God.
Blake and that she's not having the vagina dance for James. Her rose was kind of up in the air. So is there any world that Aaron and Ivan both stay? I'm like trying to figure out all the math we were doing before. Like, because we haven't seen Aaron yet, have we? Or sorry, we haven't seen Ivan yet, but we just saw Aaron. So he's at least going to make it somehow, some way to the finale.
Aaron is. I can't believe Aaron. They are holding each other's hands like they are together. I'm not mad about this, like, at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if
That would be
Ivan
like the ultimate
left the
wild
show.
card.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's kind of weird because James and Aaron are like best friends, and James has been pursuing Tia. They're literally like next to each
so
other like
maybe
they're a
then-
couple.
No, I feel like he wouldn't do that to James. So then maybe that means that Chelsea does give it to Aaron and Tia. We still don't know. I don't know.
Let's take a look at the next clip.
To know that Aaron
let's keep
and-
watching.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the next clip and see if we can get more clues. Because now I'm all invested.
We gotta like.
Bum, bum, bum. I
Lock
know.
Who will get engaged?
I don't know if I'm making the right decision.
Who will go home brokenhearted?
I'm having this internal battle. I'm scared.
I don't want you.
Okay, a lot of people we saw in this last teaser, but now we're zooming in on Thomas crying and Becca. I mean, do we think that they're gonna break up, Gianna, Thomas, and Becca?
Oh, I don't. It's crazy. This is like the first time we've seen Thomas emulate any emotion that wasn't just like, hi, I'm Thomas and I'm tall and I'm charming. So I'm like, is he crying because she broke his heart, or is he finally like not feeling a relationship? I feel like we've only seen him be secure in relationships. Like, we haven't seen him fight any of his own personal battles with himself. So I'm like, is he having a personal breakdown, or was it driven by something that Becca did or said? But
That's
at first,
Becca.
like, I really didn't like see them going far. I mean, they're still here, so clearly they're going far, but like, I don't see an engagement for the two of them at the end of this. So whatever they're fighting over or like crying over, I'm just not surprised. Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna end up together. So
Well, those are not happy tears. He's clearly devastated, but we can't ignore all of the social media activity between Becca and Thomas. Becca has been defending Thomas in multiple comments on Instagram when people have been coming for him. There's been the whole speculation that Thomas was in Becca's apartment when he filmed the Men Tell All because people recognized a blanket and a plant. So even if they do break up on the show, it's very possible that they could have gotten back together. They both live in the SoCal area. So I would not be surprised if they are still together. They could even be one of the couples that get engaged because Becca has made it very well known on Instagram in the last week that she is defending and sticking by Thomas when people come for him. So, Fiona, what do you think is going to happen?
Honestly, I think that those might just be like ugly cries of emotion. Like, I genuinely feel like he may be the kind of guy that like acts so suave, but then like when he has to like have that really tough conversation about like, I want to take the next steps with you, like I feel like he might shed a tear, and maybe we're catching him in a moment where he like looks sad. But I forget what it is that he just said, but it was something like, I don't want to leave here. Like, I feel like he's maybe saying, like, I don't want to leave here without having everything on the table. Like, I'm really falling for you. Like, for some reason, I could really see him doing that. So, based on their little social media activity and based on how short this clip was and them making it all the way to the end, I think they're going to leave Paradise together. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off beat here, but I kind of think that they will.
Well, maybe you're 100% right because they definitely are having something going on. But also, we did see Joe before we play this last clip. We did see Grocery Store Joe in the wind. I think that Joe is going to get to the end with Serena, but I don't think that he is going to get engaged because I feel like everything with Kendall, everything where he started the season, this is clearly Joe's hands. That's clearly his shirt. Do we think he will propose to Serena, Gianna? Joe.
I mean, I feel like Joe and Serena are one of, again, the realest couples that we have that are actually taking into account the fact that they pretty much just met. They haven't had any real conversations. They haven't like been anywhere else together other than this beach. So I think Joe is like, why would I get down on one knee when I could literally just pursue a relationship with her outside of this? I don't know though, because he's holding that ring. So like, I don't imagine him taking that box and just being like, never mind, actually, like, do you want to just go and like, we'll figure it out type of thing. So clearly this looks like he'd get down on one knee, but I can see why he wouldn't, if that makes sense. But I just do see them going far outside of Paradise. So again, I don't know. These always trip me up because I go down so many rabbit holes of theories and whatnot with these teasers, and they stress me out. But Joe looks stressed out in that clip. His face looks very uncertain. So I don't know if he'll be proposing right away, but I do know that they will.
And just because
make it past the beach.
Just because there is a ring, it doesn't mean he's proposing. Like, we've seen people contemplate with rings in shots before and not actually get down on one knee. So it doesn't mean that he is definitely proposing, but him and Serena seem pretty solid. Even if they get engaged and they last over the show, I'm sure people have seen spoilers. I don't think that they will last more than a year together. And like, I really don't see them lasting in real life for more than a year. Maybe they'll ride out the wave. I'm just like not. I haven't always been the biggest Grocery Store Joe fan. I'm not a hater. I just don't always see the authenticity that other people see. But that's an unpopular opinion. So we'll have to wait and see. That's just how I feel. So can we take a look at the next clip now? We have to see what else is gonna go down because you all know it's gonna get crazy.
I've been thinking over and over, this is something like we want to continue.
Now Marissa is crying. Everyone is just crying and crying. Do we think they're going to get engaged, Riley and Marissa, Fiona?
Well, he's saying, I've been thinking over and over, is this something that we want to or I want to continue? And then we see her crying, and I don't know what else she would be crying about.
It's a different shot, though.
And to me, like, it is a different shot, and to me, that doesn't. I know I'm like, Thomas looked like a sad crier, but it could have been happy cry. I don't know that like that kind of like moment is a happy cry. It seems very sad. So I feel like maybe what could happen here is she was sort of fairy tale really wanted to get engaged. And Riley, I feel like he's very pragmatic. I think he does take things slow. So maybe this is after he has a conversation with her where he's basically like, I've been thinking about this a lot. Think, maybe we could keep this going in the real world, but I don't want to get engaged, right? Like maybe it's somewhere in the middle and she's crying and she needs to process it. Because I do really think they're strong, but I really feel like I don't see Riley getting down on one knee. Which again, in the real world, you wouldn't probably be getting engaged this soon into a relationship. So I don't read too much into that as it like not being a good thing. It might not feel good to hear it. She might end up crying over it. Who knows?
I think she's crying after the overnight dates because we know that the final couples get an overnight date before the proposal. So this looks like she has a robe on and it's after the fantasy suites or the overnight. So that's why I think she's crying. I don't know what she will be crying about, but it's definitely in regards to that. Gianna, how do you think this will play out between them?
Again, I'm confused. I do think that they're gonna have some sort of falling out because, like you said, Fiona, these are not happy tears at all. And I hate to see her cry. She's so sweet, and I loved her throughout this entire season. So yeah, I think that with Riley's own personal issues of him kind of being guarded and hesitant, I think that those are going to kind of overcome his feelings for Marissa, where Marissa's kind of like gung ho, let's go, and Riley's way more reserved in how he feels. So I think we're going to see that play out when it comes to a real life engagement. And ultimately, she's going to probably get her heart broken. I can't like see a conversation in which Riley would be like, hey, I don't want to get engaged, but like, let's work this out outside the beach. Like, I feel like Marissa's really like, no, like, if not now, then never type of person. So I think they're going to break up, unfortunately. But I hope she finds love elsewhere.
That's a hot take, Gianna. That is a hot take. Well, we have one more final clip on what we can expect on the final finale, which is 2 weeks away. So let's take a look at that.
Don't miss the shocking final 2 weeks of Bachelor in Paradise. It all continues next Tuesday night.
Now, this last clip, Gianna, we saw, it looked like Becca was chasing Thomas, which is giving me flashbacks to when Katie chased Andrew S. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Of course. How could you like forget that moment? That was another thing that was in like all of the teasers for Katie's season, like her running after Andrew. So I again, and this could be after they had that crying conversation. I can't imagine she'd be running after him before and then they'd have like, I can't see a situation in which she'd be running and then they'd be back on the beach crying, because this looks like an exit of some sort. Like, it's definitely not on the beach. So I'm like, did they break up and she's running after him type of thing, like exactly with Katie and Andrew, and she's like, what the hell did I just do? Or is Thomas leaving her and she's like, no, please don't leave me? It could go literally either way. But clearly something happened with the two of them that is not looking like it's leading to an engagement. Like, something had to have gone down with the both of them. It's like, who knows what. But this clip is crazy because it's a lot of people, and I feel like it's a lot of like side profile, or like we can't really see their face, or it's like from behind. And then we
Kenny's
see Kenny
packing too.
packing a bag. Like, what? I mean, he could be packing for the overnight date, right? Like, we can't think of this as a bad thing. But so much craziness. I feel like these teasers are just manipulation. And is that James? So
So
Tia,
James is still there. Noah and Abigail.
I mean, it's like, did Tia give her rose to James, or like what is going on?
She
But
definitely
James
gave
doesn't
her
look
rose to
happy.
James.
Yeah, no one looks happy in this clip, period. So it's stressing me out. I feel very stressed right now, you guys.
Clearly. Serena's crying too. Her makeup is gonna literally fall off. I feel like James, like, I can't even believe he's still there. I think Tia's gonna give her rose to James, and then like Aaron will somehow be there too. James needs to go home. What do you think's gonna happen with Noah and Abigail, Fiona? We really still don't see anything of them.
I don't know. I honestly wonder if they like don't get engaged and maybe that's why they haven't gotten a ton of screen time because they've been pretty happy and pretty solid this whole way through. And I feel like if they got engaged in 2 weeks, I would be like, what the heck? Why didn't I get to see any of that relationship? Like, they're so in love, they're getting engaged. I've seen them like kiss 6 times. So maybe they just decide to leave the beach together. And I think that's a totally like valid thing to do. I know that you can get engaged in paradise. I just feel like I believe for whatever reason sometimes more in the couples who are like, we're going to go give this thing a real shot in the real world because it feels like you're just a little more rooted in the reality of it all than in the like fairy tale of it all. So if that's what happens for the two of them, I would be thrilled. I think that they're super cute and I hope that they end up happily together, happily ever after. I will take back slightly my previous maybe Thomas was just crying out of love thing because Becca running after him, that is messing with my whole head. All of these clips have my head spinning. Like, truly, I have no idea what's coming next.
Gianna, final thoughts.
It's hard because I just agree with everything that Fiona said. Like, if you were to ask me that, I would have said all the same things. Like, Ivan is definitely getting the boot. He's getting in trouble. Aaron's clearly staying because we saw him in that clip. It would be funny and it would be such a plot twist if, like, Tia somehow ended up with Aaron, but I don't see it really happening. Like, they're engaged. They're the only couple that gets engaged and they live happily ever after. But yeah, Kenny and Mari are definitely getting engaged. Thomas and Becca are having some sort of falling out. Riley and why am I getting names confused now? Marissa, my favorite girl ever. They're gonna have a really bad fight as well. So can't wait for the drama per usual. 3 hours. Great.
Yes. Well, I think that Kendall's going to come back. I think she's going to propose to Joe. I think Serena's going to cry, leave the show. And then I think Ivan is going to come back too and get engaged to Tia. And then I think Aaron is going to get engaged to Becca. And it's going to be a huge, huge plot twist. So you guys are going to have to let us know what you think in the comments down below. I'm sure my opinions are absolutely correct. No, I'm totally just kidding. I think we all kind of know what's going to happen at this point. The spoilers are all over the internet. Yes. So you guys are going to have to let us know. Comment down below what you guys think. Subscribe and ring the bell because we'll be back with more Bachelor in Paradise tea. Next week is 3 hours, so I hope you guys will be able to bear through the episode, and we will definitely recap it. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined today by Fiona Zaring and Gianna Gravalisi. Follow us down below. Come talk all things Bachelor with us. We love talking to you guys. So much fun. And thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next time. Bye.